Hi guys, I'm back. This is the last portion. You made it through. Thank God. I know I said 20 minutes and it's way more than that, but once you start talking, yeah, it kind of drags out. So I apologize. So I'm gonna try to move through this last part very quickly. And what this last part is talking about is intentionally planning for results. So in 2017, Stockbridge High School actually created a personalized learning model known as the Triple E model, and that stands for Enter, Engage, and Express. All right, and these three stages of instruction actually place student at the center of planning and is aligned to the district's framework of the opening, the work session, and the closing. And I think that's pretty much like teaching 101 when you break up your instruction into those three different parts. But what the Triple E model does is they kind of like maximizes those instructional stages over time. So let me just kind of go and explain that. When you get to your opening, that is enter. So that's the first stage of instruction. You're introducing the topic. You might do a little mini lecture over it. You're introducing the standard, what the goals of the lesson are. You might do a problem of the day. You're opening up that lesson. You might even have a hook. Okay? So and the enter on the Stockbridge opening / enter in Stockbridge High School's mind, that enter could possibly last 2 days, and I'll show you on the next slide. Just depends on how hefty you want to make it and what your goals are as far as what you're planning out. The next portion is engage, aka the work session. So what are the students actually doing with the knowledge that they learn in the opening or in the inner stage? That deep active learning, that application, okay? Those student activities. Sorry about the bell. Lastly, you're going to look at your closing. What are you doing to have kids express their own learning? So a closing could be a ticket out the door. It could be a small mini assessment to see what did the kids actually learn. Heck, you can even give the CFA as a quiz and have them complete that in the closing. But when you do express in the Triple E model, that express could be an actual assessment. That might be a presentation. It might be you asking questions to certain students. And hey, if you can orally tell me, I got it. It might be a group task that you actually have the kids do, and that might expand over multiple days versus it being just one day. So if you look at an opening, work session, and closing, that's probably something you can do in one class period. But when you talk about enter, engage, and express, that's something you can do over a week, 2 weeks, a whole unit. You can break it up however long you want to make it. Not just, and you can also do it in a day if you still just want to keep it simple. But it allows you to be flexible with what you actually plan in each stage of instruction. And I am going to kind of show you this in 2 examples. I'm going to go back to Ms. Nathan's physical science example. But right now, this is probably the easiest example to show you is a CTAE example with one of my former colleagues and one of my work besties, Ms. Batavia Sumlin. She actually did the Triple E model in her computer programming class, all right? And in this class, she broke her Inter-Engagement Express up over a week. So it'll be Monday through Friday. On Mondays, that would be her answer. So she only did 1 day for answer. She would introduce a topic, she would model and show an example, and then she would give the kids like a small amount of practice. On Tuesday and Wednesday, those would be engaged days. So on Tuesday, she would give the kids a task-based assignment, which was still practice, but she was kind of gauging where her learners are, and she would actually give them a grade. So on Wednesday, she would actually make groups based off of that data she collected on Tuesday. So if you made an 85 or above on that test, you were in the Apple group. Those were her high flyers. If you made between a 72 and 84, you were in the Android group. You kind of those middle of the road kids. If you made below a 71, you were somebody that really needed a lot of support, so you were in the Microsoft group. And she would actually remediate the kids on whatever the concept was on that Wednesday to kind of scaffold the lesson to the level of learner she had in the class. On Thursday and Friday, those were express days. So on Thursday, she would actually give them a summative task based on all the work they did Monday through Wednesday. Now, also, she added in on Fridays this little thing called Unplugged Fridays, or reflection on the topics that they focus on during the week. So based on those, she would actually make sure her kids knew the information. And so the key is, if she did her job on Wednesday, when she differentiated those tasks for them, by the time Thursday and Friday came, as far as her expressions, kids should be on it, because you are mediated their understandings when you kind of like targeted what their problem was in those groups. All right. And so then the next week will continue, and she will continue this cycle again. All right. So that's a CTAE example. I'm going to go back and kind of show you Ms. Nathan's physical science example. She was on the design team along with myself and other teachers in building this triple E model. So hers is a little bit more ambitious. So some of her things might be a little bit too much for the new, like, beginning teachers. So you don't have to necessarily do it, but this is a way I would recommend, because Ms. Nathan always got results on her end of course test. Very high scores. So what Ms. Nathan would do first is she would prepare her resources, all her resources, videos, quizzes, all on Google Classroom. And then on Monday, what she would do is she would give kids Monday and Tuesday, she would give kids 3 options. Number one, they could if you felt like you needed a teacher to talk to you, they could come up front and learn from her through direct instruction. The second option would be she would have like lecture videos already posted to the Google Classroom. So if you are okay with learning through a video and completing the task through the video, be my guest, watch the video. Then if you were the type that likes to collaborate, you would actually work with a partner. So if I'm cool with working with a partner to complete the task, then I can use my partner as a resource. So those kids would do that and learn the information on Monday and Tuesday. Then what would happen is her engaged days would be Wednesday and Thursday, where students would actually do a deep active learning with like virtual labs or simulations over the things that they went over on Monday and Tuesday. Then, as Wednesday and Thursday were happening, Miss Nathan will walk around and facilitate to make sure she's clarifying any misconceptions. On Friday, they would get a summative assessment over all the elements or all the things they learned during the week. Now, if kids actually did not pass that summative assessment, we also had where they could take it over again for a higher grade, and the higher grade would actually go into the grade book, so that you're actually getting the maximum amount of knowledge that they truly know, and you're giving them a chance to kind of remediate what they did not learn from the process or they did not get. But that remediation assessment or reassessment has to happen on the student's own time. So we do still have that policy if you feel like you want to incorporate it. So that's just a little side note. And that is pretty much a glimpse at the Triple E model. If you are a new teacher, like I said, you will be sent out an extensive training where it'll go a little bit deeper and give you some explicit examples. But I just want to kind of give you a little preview. So going back to the lesson planning, you want to make sure you're always intentionally planning for enter, you're always intentionally planning for engage, and you're always intentionally planning for express. So what I'm going to do really quickly is actually show you lesson plans in Henry Connect. So I kind of showed you this screen earlier. So I want to go back. And the administration does want everybody to start to populate their lesson plans in Henry Connects. So you guys are the first group that kind of gets exposed to it. So I'm going to kind of pull up Henry Connects. I go to my course and I pull up my progressions. So let's just say if I am in Unit 3, I would click on Unit 3. What I would do is I would scroll all the way to the bottom where you see my lessons. And in order to pull the lesson plan up, you see this plus button here. And I would title my lesson. I'm just going to put test for right now. And let's just say I'm doing it today. If you see here, you have each part of lesson. You got your opening, where you're securing a foundation and you're setting a purpose. So that's pretty much your enter. Got your work session, which is the direct instruction that I do, we do, and then the students work, which is the you do. But here at Stybridge for the Triple E, I always say this part is for student work is we all do, because I really do love a collaborative learning environment where students aren't just sitting by themselves trying to figure stuff out. You're actually working with not only your peers, but you're also working with the teacher or facilitator. So I like to call this section, instead of you do, we all do, because we're all in this together to make sure we get the concept down before it's time to secure the learning, which is in the closing. All right. So you will always put your closing here, which is express. So if I go back to the top, if you click this, you'll see where it gives you really exactly what you need to be putting in here. The teacher activates prior knowledge. They may review something. You're providing feedback. You're giving them a formative assessment. And then what it actually looks like is also here at the bottom. It could be a CFA, problem of the day, ticket out the door, reviewing some homework, reinforcing prior learning, blah, blah, blah. So it's giving you examples of different things that you could put in there. And you just literally type what you're doing. And I'm just doing it. And you can also link in resources. You can put images, you can put a video, and then there's also more options that you can put down here to make sure you bold, highlight, underline certain words and text. And this is the same for each section. They give you examples of what you can put, resources, all that good stuff. You can also add different resources that you're going to be using in these lessons down here at the bottom, and also the standard, and you can hit save. Now, once you hit save, what actually happens on the parent end is if I go to Hearing Connects, and let's just say my son, who will be here next year, is in your class, I can actually look at your lesson plan in Hearing Connects on a certain unit and know exactly what you're going to be doing with my student from the parent perspective. So that's the cool thing about these lesson plans, and that's also why the administration wants you to push your lesson plans in Hearing Connects so that you have that transparency between you and the students' parents and the students. All right? And that is pretty much that. All right, so I am really done with lesson plans. And like I said, you can find those in Hearing Connect. And I'm going to pretty much close it out. Finally, so if you are a brand new teacher to the building, I'm going to send you out a virtual training really tomorrow. And you will complete that virtual training. I'll probably give you guys at least to like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week to get that training done. So you are more familiar with the Triple E model. But if you're not a new teacher to the building, just make sure you are aware of those things that I've talked about through the presentation, that you're focusing on meeting the standard, but you're also exceeding the standard because you want to be in that higher quadrant. Okay. You also want to make sure you know where to locate all the resources for Instructional Foundations. And you also want to make sure that you are using the district framework of opening, work session, and closing, but also the school framework of the Triple E. If you're using either one of those frameworks for your instruction, you will be on target with what you need to be doing when you have a walkthrough or anybody's giving you feedback from the district or the school level. All right. And the last question or last activity you will complete in this Nearpod slide is based off of what I showed you with the lesson plans. Do you feel like that would be easy for you to incorporate? Yes or no? Give me some feedback. And I will talk to you later. Have a great day.